Hello mga kababayan, kumusta po? Welcome uli. Kumusta mga kababayan? Stop muna natin to. Welcome. Thank you sa nag-like maaga. Maraming salamat po. Welcome dito sa ating channel, Nancy Bicolana. Musta po uli? Again, doon po sa hindi pa nakapag-subscribe, paki-subscribe po. Paki-like and share. Wala naman po tayo masyadong pag-uusapan, kaya lang hindi ko akalain na makikita pala natin sila, maghaharap pala sila Cong Marcoleta at saka sila Cong Oaminal sa hearing. Nesty De Vera, good day po ma'am. Good day PM dito sa amin. Maghaharap sila sa sa hearing, mga kababayan. Nagka-Initan, talagang si Cong Oaminal po, hindi ko alam kung bakit siya ay masyadong defensive. Halos parang ayaw niyang pagsalitain si Cong Marcoleta. Kumbaga, every time magkakaroon siya ng chance na makapagsalita, talagang sumisiksik siya. Kumbaga, nang aasar, kumbaga. Nesty De Vera again, watching again from Langkawi, Malaysia. Kumusta? Salamat for tuning in, Nesty. Wala naman tayong masyadong gusto ko lamang i-share sa inyo itong nagkakainitan yung dalawang congressman sa hearing Monday. Yes. Panoorin, kung hindi pa po ninyo napapanood, ito ay kumbaga parang, alam po ba ninyo ang nangyari dito kung bakit sila nagkakainitan? Kasi itong si Cong Marcoleta kasi, meron siyang kino-question tungkol sa project, mga kababayan. At talaga namang, kumbaga si Cong Marcoleta against sa lahat. Nag-iisa lang siya eh. Pero kaya niya. Alfredo Castelo Jr., mga agaw ko diha sa Osamis. Ayaw nang butuhin itong kung animal dako kaayo kinorap. Ay naku po, talaga namang titingnan mo, makikita mo. Regine A. Marigon, good morning ma'am. Good PM po dito sa amin. Good AM dyan sa Hong Kong. Talaga namang grabe si Cong Oaminal. Parang defensive na defensive. Halos ayaw pagsalitin si Cong Marcoleta. Si Cong Marcoleta na busit na talaga, mga kababayan. Hindi siya makapagsalita. Kasi every time na may chance itong si Cong Oaminal, banat ng banat. Yung kanyang administrator sa Osamis, napaka-defensive din. Isang abogado din siya, mga kababayan. Opening remark pa lang, dinidipinsahan na niya yung kanilang ginawa, 'di ba? Parang hindi man lang 'di ba? No, normally pag sa opening remark pa lang, 'di ba? Kunti lang ito talagang dinipinsahan niya, umabot ng halos mahigit 10 minutes siya eh. Si administrator na Sam Fuentes, pati talagang kasama kay yung administrator. Ito pala si Cong Oaminal pala, congressman. Yung anak niya pala ay mayor at yung isa niyang anak ay barangay chairman yata. Yung mga kababayan, okay lang naman yun eh. Okay lang naman yun kasi marami namang mga mambabatas na may anak, may dalawang anak katulad ni President Duterte. Pero mapapansin niyo, iba yung takbo ng kanilang pamilya. Wala kang maririnig na katulad ng maririnig mo ngayon. Joe KSA, good day po ma'am. Good day din sa iyo. Good PM sa amin. At panoorin po natin dito po ninyo makikita kung paano sila magkaka-connection Di ba? Pati hanggang sa COA, mga kababayan, hanggang sa administrator, hanggang sa lahat, talagang si Cong Marcoleta lang ang nagdidepensa sa sarili niya at siya lang ang bumabanat. Pero makikita po ninyo dito yung pagdemoles, talagang nakakaawa ng mga bahay. Manalo pa rin yung animal. Koro kung ho, manalo pa rin yung mga animal, uminal na yan sa eleksyon kasi 500 pesos lang katapat mga botante. Grabe naman. Grabe naman po, pero makikita po ninyo talagang pati yung kanyang project niya kasi yon. Tapos yung kanyang mga heavy equipment, mga kababayan, pinakita ni Cong Marcoleta, pinoint out pang gano'n na lalong naghalit, lalong naging defensive si Cong Oaminal. Regina Marigon, Ma'am Nancy, hindi yan Oaminal, ma'am, kundi Congressman Animal. Grabe, sobrang defensive, halatang may tinatago. Parang kumbaga nanonood ka kung paano, hindi ko sinasabing siya ikurap, kung paano tahi-tahiin, kung paano parang hang magkakakuntsaba, pati sa administrator, di ba? Pati sa COA. Diyos me, yung COA naman, ano ba yan? Pinabalik-baliktad na, pinahaba-haba na lang yung sagot, ano ba yan? Parang ganun talaga ang style nila, parang kinakain yung oras para hindi matapos. Ganun na nga yata ang nangyari. Tingnan ninyo. Napanood nyo po ba yon? Grabe ang haba. Halos 4 hours. Pinagtiyagaan natin kahit na dahil nandun si Cong Marcoleta. Kasi kung hindi lang si Cong Marcoleta ako, hindi natin pagtiyagaan to. Sige na nga, subukan na, simulan na lang natin kasi medyo mahaba-haba siya
Yes, you are acknowledged. You are
In order
recognized.
to appease Congressman Biloso, I will lay down the premises. First,
Pwede man
hearing
tayo
was
mag-usap
called
mga kababayan kahit tumatakbo
simply
yan.
because this representation would like to know why a project funded by the national government through expropriation, which did not follow certain processes, was built on a private land. One of the components of this housing project, Mr. Chair, was even built on a public land, which is an
Ganun ba? Ganun ba, Regina Marigon?
patrimonial domain of this
Para
country.
nga,
I'd
Grabe.
like to ask whether or not the expropriation process followed the legal procedures.
Mr. Chair, point of order.
Ayan na.
To believe
Yes, sir.
that the hearing is not the way
Ayan na.
how it is in accordance with the role, which is
Nagmistola siyang parang batang pasaway. Ayaw tumigil. Ano bang dinidepensahan niya? Imbes na tumulong siya and find out what is going on, depensa siya ng depensa, di ba? Kasi yung kanyang pangalan nandoon.
the determination of the preliminary determination on whether or not we have jurisdiction. I yield.
Actually, they are two separate things: jurisdiction and a preliminary determination of the evidence. They're two separate things, sir. They're not intertwined.
Yeah,
We have jurisdiction as the Committee on Rules on January 18 referred the matter of House Resolution 1197 to the Committee on Public Order and Accountability. Good government and public accountability. Good government and public
Grabe
accountability.
si Cong Oaminal.
Mr. Chair, and in accordance to our role, when the referral
Nagsisimula pa lang, bumabanat na.
by the Rules Committee to the Committee on Good Government, then we have to decide by majority of the members.
Yes,
present.
after we hear the evidence, sir.
That's why, Mr. Chair, but the way how we are doing now, we are now conducting an investigation as if there is already a determination on whether or not we have jurisdiction on the matter. Because the way how D.S. Marcoleta is
Pinipigilan
now
niya.
Sir.
asking question,
Parang pinipigilan niya. Tingnan mo. Mayroon siyang babasahin pero yung tatlong paragraph, dalawa lang binasa niya, yung una at yung pangatlo. nilampasan niya yung panggitna.
It's now as if the resource speaker is now considered as an adverse party.
Sir, can I answer your point to parliamentary inquiry?
Yes, sir.
Actually, these are two separate things. Do not intertwine them. The first issue that you are raising is
Alam naman niya yan?
our jurisdiction. We have jurisdiction as stated because the Committee on Rules on January 18 referred it properly and properly received by the committee and referred this 1197 resolution to us.
Nabanatan tuloy siya ni Cong Marcoleta dyan.
With regards to the preliminary determination, that is based on the evidence. We need ample time. It says there on paragraph.
Alam niyo, masyado pa siyang malambot kay Cong Oaminal. Every time Cong Oaminal bumanat, pinagbibigyan niya. Di ba?
Paragraph 2 of Rule 2, Section 4. Can you read the second paragraph, sir? It says there,
Diba?
we need to hear the evidence first.
Yeah, if I will read the rule, Mr. Chair, which you are
Yes.
citing, Section 2 preliminary determination.
Ayan,
Yes, sir.
babasahin
After
niya yung...
determining compliance with the preceding section, the committee shall calendar in its agenda for preliminary determination a measure referred to it immediately upon
Babasahin niya mga kababayan yung nag-a-apply sa kanya. Yung gitna na mag-a-apply kay Cong Marcoleta na paragraph, hindi niya babasahin yan. Pero nahuli siya ni Chair. Aki Siloso, nagsasabuatan ang mga buwaya sa Kongreso. Ano? Si Cong Marcoleta lang, meron nga silang chair, pero, no? Kumbaga, referee lang siya.
upon receipt of the referral by the House of Representatives or upon receipt of the information in motu proprio cases. No. With proper notice to its member to
Grabe.
determine whether such referral falls within its jurisdiction. So we have to determine whether the referrals that are being referred to us now falls within our jurisdiction. And the last sentence of this rule, Section 2, the decision of the committee whether to conduct an inquiry shall be by a majority vote of the
Yes,
members
sir.
of the committee in a meeting constituting a quorum.
Tingnan mo yung isa,
sandali
nakatitig
lang.
sa kanya.
Nag-skip kayo ng paragraph.
Ayun.
May
Huli
tatlong
siya.
paragraph po yan. Binasa niyo po yung first and third paragraph. Let me read the second paragraph.
Okay.
The
Ayun.
author, which in this case is D.S. Marcoleta, shall
Ayun.
be given the opportunity to formally present their allegations, claims, and identify, delineate, or simplify the issues involved before the committee, which means a hearing. The committee may also consider the following. So, please, D.S. Oaminal, let's give him a fair chance to present his
Hindi niya bibigyan.
allegations.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I was expecting him in his preliminary remarks that he should present evidence. He should not get evidence from the resource speakers.
Okay, may we remind D.S. Marcoleta.
Nagsisimula pa lang yan, mga kababayan. Parang batang pasaway talaga. Yung chair nga, kung minsan natatawa na lang.
To present your allegations and the executive summary of your allegations so that the member questioning will be satisfied that there is indeed malfeasance, misfeasance, or nonfeasance, which is a jurisdiction of this committee.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Oaminal, I
Si?
just honorable.
madali siguro dito, Mr. Chair. Do you want to answer all the questions?
Ayan.
Diaz Oaminal para madali tayo?
Sir D.S.
want to
Marcoleta,
answer
please
the
address
question?
the chairman first. Do not address the other member directly.
Mr. Chair, if
Sorry, Mr. Chair, nakakapiko na talaga yung isa eh. Tahimik na tahimik si Cong Marcoleta, banat ng banat. Parang ayaw niyang pagsalitain si Cong Marcoleta eh. Lucila Gabo watching from Hong Kong, grabe po animal na yan. Kitang-kita na ang korupsyon niya, panay palusot pa. Di ba? Parang batang pasaway. Ayaw tumigil. Cynthia Katabay, I watch this corruption is so infinite. Mag-ama watching from New Washington. Good evening po. Oo nga, yung mag-ama nga, yung ama, yung anak, di ba? Yung anak ang mayor, pero yung kapatid ang barangay chairman, di ba? Sige. Lucila Gabo, ayaw pasalitain si Marcoleta, panay-interrupt niya. Oo nga, napipiko na nga si Cong Marcoleta pagkatapos ini-scold naman siya ni Chair. Di ba? Kuyang Kadiwa, durog kay Cong Marcoleta. Durog nga, pero every time, talagang...
DS Oaminal wanted to answer all the questions. That's okay with me.
If there indeed is malfeasance or misfeasance in this case, that's my only objective here, not a debate, not a mano-imano. So, I hope pagbigyan mo po ako doon.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Kanina pa, binabanggit ko na. The demolitions were undertaken during the pandemic and then there were no court demolitions.
Grabe mga kababayan, kumbaga, ano ba yun? Sabi nila, 8 allegations. Ang dami. Regine A. Marigon, natakot na yan si Animal kasi mabuking. Nakahayupan niya. Kuyang Kadiwa, iyak siya kay Cong Marcoleta. Alam mo, di ba sabi ko, the other day, looks like Cong Marcoleta stumbled on something. Sabi nga ni Cong Marcoleta, kung sinagot lang niya ako, hindi na tayo darating dito. Kaso mo, binanatan si Cong Marcoleta noon Tapos sinabihan pa niya na ito magtatakbo kang presidente or senador or wala kang trabaho. Ganun ang sagot ni Cong Oaminal. Tinatanong lang siya, sabi lang sa kanya ni Cong Marcoleta, obserbahan mo ng maayos yung ginagawa mo. Kasi lumalabag ka doon sa batas. Bumanat ng bumanat. O ayan, tuloy sila. Ayun, Cong Marcoleta stumbled on something big. Diba? Huling-huli kayo.
Issued, the buildings were constructed on private lands, not owned by the city government. One component of that project was even erected on a public land.
Oh, wow.
Which is inalienable, not disposable.
Inalienable.
The project, Mr. Chair, is implemented. I think the notice to proceed was, I think, September 2019. And I'd like to know when it was started, because I believe it was started only mid of 2020. But there is a report I will show to this body that as of January 31, 2020, that project, specifically Building 1, was already 71.36% complete. How's that? The notice to proceed was September 23, 2019. But the construction is yet to start in May of 2020. How come there is already a completion at the rate of 71.36%? I asked the office of the DPWH, central office. They say that the project engineer on the ground is the one feeding through an application called PMCA. This is a computer-generated report. Meaning to say,
yan yung sinasabi nilang ghost project.
To that system, he will feed the information to the system. So that even the project is not yet started, it's already 71.36%. I'd like to ask the COA, why was it permitted? Is the COA looking into this? Is the DPWH
I now understand
the
line of questioning. So, DS Oaminal, can we give him time to present his case by asking the COA and DPWH these questions and the Osami City government? He needs to ask them.
Mr. Chair, if that is the role, that the evidence to be adduced by the author or by the complainant will be from the prospective adverse witness. Mr. Chair,
yes.
As a matter of fact, this is the point raised as I listened from the Honorable Ching Beluso. He was raising the point on point order that the Marcoleta should be given first the opportunity to present evidence at hand. It should not be evidence from the resource speakers, because the way how he is questioning now, is that
Okay.
he is asking, elucidating evidence from the resource speakers. Remember, they are resource speaker. That's why under our rules,
Wala.
it's only witness or
Wala
adverse
na,
party
he's
who should
losing
be
it.
sworn under oath.
Under oath.
When we are already in our proper investigation.
Actually, it is not written in any rule that we cannot swear them under oath. As long as the chair sees fit that invited guests be given the oath, then he can decide on that.
Well, no problem with that, Mr. Chair. But my only point in connection also with the point of order raised by the other members is that it should be the author should present the evidence at hand to us now. The
Mr. Chair,
documentary
may I answer
evidence
that?
and other.
Okay,
Ayan na, hala.
We will decide.
Yes, sir.
May I answer that?
I've heard that already twice. Let's give him the opportunity to present his case, sir.
Yeah,
Okay, sir.
I have several pieces of evidence, Mr. Chair. As a matter of fact, they are from A to U.
Please tackle them one by one because so to simplify the issues before we proceed to the interpellations, Mr. Sponsor. You're on record,
Yeah.
sir.
Oo nga, Region Marigon.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
70% na daw.
Question for the Office of the Mayor. The first building of the housing project under contract 19 KJO 186 had a 50 million funding under the 2019 GAA. That is correct, Mr. City Administrator.
Rayon Nakiyama. Wala na. Animal ka talaga.
Mr. Chair,
Pinuking ng
Ms.
MDA.
Marcoleta will present
MDA.
an evidence, not questioning the resource speakers.
Si...
How can I present my evidence, Mr. Chair?
Ayan.
If Oaminal keeps on interrupting this representation.
No,
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
can I request for 5 minutes break?
5 minutes break.
Yeah, so we can discuss this
Okay.
matter.
Suspension for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Si... Ang ginagawa ni Oaminal.
Project 19KJ 0186. This is the project we're talking about, Mr. Chair. Constructed by Alpha and Omega General Contractor. This is the contractor. As of January 31, 2020, that project is 71.36% complete. That is why I wanted to ask the contractor if he is present because I know
Pikod na
he
si Cong
started the project
Marcoleta.
sometime May 2020. How come it is already 71.36% complete? As a matter of fact, Mr. Chair, I will show the corresponding picture taken on December 14, 2020, which I think is in the slide as I gave the COMSEC. What is the status of that project as of December 2020? Can you please flash it on the screen so that you can see the difference? I'd like to ask, of course, the DPWH why they did not
Ayan.
verify that report.
Yan.
And so, COA, I'd like to ask also whether the first billing of that contractor, how much is that? Because if he was paid to the rate of 71% of that project, which is yet to be constructed, then the COA was paying a ghost project,
Yun.
Mr. Chair.
Lagot kayo.
And I'm saying that the cluster project in Malaubang, in Barangay, Mr. Chair, was constructed on a public land. To remedy the situation, Mr. Chair, DS Oaminal filed
Ayun. Ayun.
a resolution in January 2020 converting that particular land area
Grabe.
consisting of about 82
You mean a bill,
hectares.
House bill.
It's House Bill.
Oops,
It's here, Mr.
what
Chair. I'll
happened?
give you.
Oh.
And
Kala
of
ko
course,
ako
you
yun.
can, that's the report. The picture, the picture of the litrato yun nung project. It's a project. And so he filed a bill, Mr. Chair, converting that public land into alienable and disposable.
Oh.
It is as if that particular bill becomes a law, he could have remedied the situation.
Bakit
I will
ayaw?
ask, of course, the resource person, especially the Solicitor General,
Ayan.
whether a project can be constructed on a public land.
Pinakialaman ng public
Whether
land.
the city government can determine for itself the use of a public land. And then, Mr. Chair, there is a writ of possession. And it is all here. Is the writ of possession, Mr. Chair, miraculously turn itself into a title covering all those lots expropriated in the name of the city government? And so why on Building 1 and Building 2, these projects were constructed considering that these are private lands?
Oo.
By the way,
Sige.
the writ of possession, the procedure was still being questioned by the residents. It's already with the Supreme Court, Mr. Chair. That's why there is a representative from the Office of the City Administrator. Did DS Oaminal notify the House of a possible conflict of interest in filing that bill based on Section 12, Article 6 of the Philippine Constitution? Because he must have done that, because it was his project. Where did the money come from in regard to the cluster housing? There are 3 projects involved in this project, Mr. Chair. The pictures are already here.
Grabe
I
po.
will give all this to the
Parang
chair.
hindi
In
natatakot
Barangay
tong mga
Laman,
to.
Mr. Chair, there are 2 condo-type buildings. The first one is funded by the national government, 50 million pesos. The second building is funded by the local government, 50 million. But there is a cluster housing in Barangay Malaubang. That's where it was
Yan
constructed
yung
on a public land.
70%.
There is a 50 million budget to that. Where did that come from? I'd like to ask the COA. Kasi, Mr. Chair, yung first building is 19 kJ 0186. The second building is 20 kJ 0183 or something. Pero yung Malaubang, what is the contract ID? Where did the 15 million come from? Wala naman sa GAA yun. Wala rin sa city government. Kaya pala, ang nangyari,
Ayan.
dito sa billboard nila, Mr. Chair, yung first building, 35 million na lang.
Grabe.
But sa GAA, this is 50 million. Naging 35 million na lang. Ito, billboard nila ito. Silang mag-ama ito. Bakit
Yan.
naging 35 million? Because the 15 million was placed in Malaubang, the cluster project. That's technical malversation, Mr. Chair.
Ayun.
Why did the city government, sabi niya, oh, we will condemn, we cannot injure, we cannot harm our residents.
Yeah.
Pikit mata, sasabihin nila. Ibig sabihin, yung mga residents na to na nag-complain sa Supreme Court, Mr. Chair, sila mismo nag-demolish. I will show you the evidence, Mr. Chair, nandito. Ayan, yan ba yung 71%? As of December 14,
Grabe.
2020, yan ba yung 71%? Tingnan ninyo. Baka 17, baka 17. I'm not an engineer. Pero as of January 31, 2020, it's already 70.36%. 2020 na yan. Hindi, it's 17 pa lang yan eh. But as of January 31, 2020, Mr. Chair, sa report ng DPWH, 71% complete.
Ayan, 71% ba yan? Wala pang ang bubong.
Paano nyo i-demolish yung bahay nang dahil binigyan lang kayo ng writ o possession? I will question even the court, Mr. Chair. Sabi ni Diaz Oaminal sa kanyang privilege speech, bakit ko raw sinabi na merong 50,000 pesos allowance yung RTC court? Sabi niya, oh, it's a practice. Is that so, Mr. Administrator? Is that your practice that your courts are being given allowances by the city government or the local government?
Banat.
Sabi ni Diaz Oaminal, hindi naman 50, 25 lang eh. Kahit na 5 pesos lang yun, Diaz Oaminal, mali pa rin yun. Because I don't think the judge should receive allowances. The
There
judge
you
should
go.
maintain the cold neutrality of an impartial judge. Justice Peras, RTC, 15.
Wala na raw
Number
doon.
15 and 35. Palagay ko inalis nyo na siya. He's somewhere
Ayun.
else. You can no longer stand the pressure.
Grabing
Luzon
pressure.
City. Kung walang demolition order coming from the court, with the writ of possession, you can demolish. Possession is one. Ownership is another. My question,
Kuro.
bakit pinayagan ng
Kuro
DPWH
kung ho,
at
nawala
saka
ang mga paruhinog
ng
na
COA
tigre,
na
na
itayo
palitan.
yung mga projects na yun dun
ng
sa
mga
lupa?
Oaminal na
Sir,
buwaya.
Private
1 minute to
land.
go for the 10 minutes.
These are the things that we would like to determine, Mr. Chair. Left and right lang, violation lahat ng ito.
Grabe.
Gusto
Ala,
kong hanapin
Oaminal.
lahat ng kasagutan. All questions must be answered truthfully, honestly, for
Correct.
the sake of our people, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Ayan na
It
naman.
is also our right now to ask questions to the author on the allegations that he has
Sir,
pursuant to the rule. And as I said, Mr. Chair, we are not, as what I understand, we are not calling here witnesses.
No,
And we are not
it's just
seeking interpellation to witnesses. It's
those
the
are the
resource
resource
speakers.
persons.
Resource persons.
Resource persons. That's why, Mr. Chair, a point of clarification, with that 8 allegations now, pursuant to the role, we would like to ask the author to specify who are, or what, in its allegation,
parang hindi niya
who
alam.
is the adverse party, whose office committed
Tama
the
ka,
violation.
Regina
Actually, the adverse
Marigon.
party, in my
Kakahiya
opinion,
nga.
is the Republic of the Philippines because the laws are for.
Mr. Chair, I am sorry, no? Section 1, under our role, it is very clear here that the good government shall have jurisdiction over all matters directly and principally relating to malfeasance.
JJ
So if
Kojima,
that is the
good morning
malfeasance or
ma'am. Nancy,
misfeasance committed,
kagigising lang.
malfeasance, non-feasance in office. So it should be specified what particular office that commits where this malfeasance is committed. And second, he has
Oo
to
daw, Rian
specify
Akiyama,
who are
tiga
the
doon.
officers and employees that commits this particular malfeasance and non-feasance.
Actually, I can answer because I heard the 10 minutes statement. I can answer for him because I want this hearing to proceed because if we keep on facing roadblocks, we will go
Ayan.
in circles.
So that
Okay.
to guide the members in our
Okay.
deliberation,
Number
Mr.
one allegation is the ghost project. So the violations here is propounded on the DPWH and the
Right.
Commission on Audit.
Number
Number 2 allegation is the falsification of documents, public documents in the report of the site engineer. Again, on
Rodolfo
the
de Leon,
DPWH.
bulol na si Oaminal.
Number 3 is the using of public land, which is, I think, inalienable public land. So this is on the city of Osamis and the
Grabe.
city of DPWH. And number 4,
Mr. Chair, on that number 3 allegation, public land, that is not part of the resolution, Mr. Chair. The issue, although I know, Mr. Chair,
Ala,
the
sige,
regulation is
babanatan
that
ka
the
dyan.
government project should be implemented in a public land.
can I finish? You asked me to
Yeah.
comply and now you are interrupting me, sir.
Mr. Chair, I'm sorry, it's
See?
not an interruption.
Parang,
but it's just clarification that raising the point that the number 3 allegation that there is a violation on implementing projects in a public land, it is not in the resolution, Mr. Chair. I'm just raising
JJ
the point.
Okay,
Kojima.
noted.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
Habang
Number-
nakikinig kay Cong
was
Marcoleta,
effective.
obvious na,
So,
obvious may kupit.
Mr. Chair,
Lagot ka.
thank you for the first 3 questions. The DPWH is
Babanatan ka na
Yeah,
naman
sir,
dyan.
sir, it's like you are presiding over the hearing. I
There
am
you
the
go.
chairman. I will see how this hearing will proceed and how it will be. You're mapping out already the flow. I will say what the flow is, sir.
Parang nervous
If
na
you may
nervous
allow
yan
me
ng
to
mga
point out
kababayan.
the flow, then I can do my job, sir.
Mr. Chair. Question to the office of the mayor. The 2 condo type buildings are located in Barangay Laman. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Ayan, si
Who is the
administrator.
chairman, the barangay chairman of Barangay Laman?
As far as I know, it is Barangay Captain Sancho Oaminal, Your Honor.
How is he
Oh,
related to DS Waminal?
His
kapatid.
younger brother, Your Honor.
Younger
Yeah.
brother, thank you. Were you
Wala-
aware that on August 24, 2020, in the program Face and Serve the People, slide 1 please.
Magkakaroon yata ng slide siya dito.
Well, this is being fixed, Mr. Chair. Let me go to next question. Mr. Administrator, is it not true that the land in Laman to which this building 1 is being constructed is not owned by the city government?
As of the moment, not yet, Your Honor.
Okay, not yet
As of the
daw.
moment,
Yes, Your Honor.
but you have already constructed it,
Ayun. Tingnan,
right?
grabing
I
mga to.
understand, Your Honor, that
It's not what you understood. I'm asking you, as of
God.
now, it is not yet in the name of the city government, right?
yes, Your Honor.
Can you
Yeah.
set up a project on a property not owned by the Osamis government?
Yes,
JJ
Your
ko,
Honor.
Jay, mapatay silang lahat.
How is it so?
Your Dolpo Oaminal, malapit
Your
na yan
Honor,
sa
a writ of
kriminal.
possession has already been issued. The property was already vacated by its occupants. And there was a government project on that site. It was the DPWH that implemented it, Your Honor.
Okay. Kabuti na lang inamin mo.
Lagot ka.
Diyan na. Did the residents voluntarily vacate their houses or their houses were demolished?
They voluntarily vacated, Your Honor. And
Lagot.
it was even, I understand the contractor who helped them remove some of the remnants, Your Honor.
That's
that
okay.
would not
Kung voluntary, okay na yon. Okay.
pass, Your Honor.
Please. Slide 1, please.
Oh, ayaw na naman ayaw tumanggal. Sandali. Sandali ha. Grabe talaga to eh. Sandali lang. At ayaw matanggal. Sandali ha. It just does not wanna. Yes, I did. I was trying to play this. It just does not wanna unpip. See? Oh, it unpip this time. Let me see.
Sa korte, no? So wala sila giabo, wala sila
Okay mga kababayan, pasensya na. Ewan ko ba bakit to nagkakaganito palagi. Okay, let's go.
gipahawa. Gihula
Ito po yung sinasabi niya, yung una niya na, nag-init na naman itong si Cong Ominal kasi ipinakita yan. Ay nako. Meron pang isa diyan, talagang galit na galit siya. Tingnan mo.
under our expropriation law, no, which is kining Republic Act 10752.
Since na, hindi ko naintindihan yung sinasabi
This
niya.
is an act facilitating the acquisition
Oh,
of road
iba.
right of way, site, or location for national
Op,
government
nakatago ako.
infrastructure projects. No?
Kini niya, this is a national infrastructure project because proyekto man kani sa national government ang pondo na asagaa nga gibutang sa DPWH agency. No? It's a multi-purpose building to be used for housing units na ako diha ang covered court facilities of a community. Covered court.
Basa muna tayo. Jocelyn Perez, hello po Ma'am Nancy. Also mga buko na sila kaya isang tanong ni Cong Marcoleta ang daming sagot. Ayun nga. Nakita niyo yung COA? Yung COA. Napansin niyo yung COA? Hala, pinaikot-ikot na. Talagang kinain na yung oras. JJ Kunema, meaning ng sinabi ko, huling-huli na sila, Marcoleta. Rodolfo Daniel, ano ba yan? Oaminal o Aminal? Koro Kong Ho, sa Davao, nag-demolish, may court order pa, sinuntok ni Inday ang Harap. Bakit demolish agad sa Osamis? Pinagtulungan ng Kong Mayor at Barangay Cap, di po ba? Para demolish. Rayo Nakiyama, MMDA official, binuking ka na, palusot ka pa. Kung hindi sana pinaalis sa posisyon si Pesting Velascong yan, sila, kung defensor, ayun nga po eh. Pero nandoon si Kong, narinig ko, nandoon si Kong Remolla. Tapos dumating si Kong defensor earlier, pero hindi ko na sila narinig. Kasi una lang naman ito eh. Una lang naman sila, tinitingnan lang naman nila ito, itong hearing na to, tinitingnan lang naman nila kung pwede bang ipagpatuloy, kung may substance ba na ipagpatuloy nila yung hearing. Sa huli, nagbutuhan silang, hindi na dyan makikita mahaba, sa huli, nagbutuhan sila na ipapatuloy nga ang hearing. Kasi nga po ay talagang, ang daming allegation, di ba? Tingnan mo mga allegation nila, technical malversation, ghost project, falsification of report. Hindi po ba nag-report sila ng 70% na daw ang nagawa nila sa building. Unethical giving of allowance, yung binibigyan daw po ng pera yung mga judge. Not properly following of procedure sa demolish kasi wala nga po silang demolish order. Bayanihan Act as one. Di po ba tinanggal yung dapat hindi sila nagdi-demolish at that time? Di ba? Tinanggal muna, sinuspend muna ang demolition dahil nga may pandemya tayo. Violated Public Act na 7279. Yun daw mga maliliit na may-ari ng lupa ay exempted. Marami mga kababayan, kaya nagbutuhan sila kung ito ba ay may, yung bang bintang ni Cong Marcoleta, yung sinasabi niyang, yung kanyang questioning, ay dapat pa bang ipagpatuloy o hindi. Ipagpapatuloy nila sa susunod nilang hearing ay sa February 9 po. Patay silang lahat yan. Okay. Dito na naman galit na naman dito si Kong Oaminal kasi nga ginamit na naman yung pangalan niya.
Barangay Health Center and other facilities nga gikinahanglan sa mga katawhan in that community. And in this provision of RI 18752, Section 6, Guidelines for Expropriation Proceedings.
Grabe kayo? Di kayo naawa sa tao?
Whenever it is necessary to acquire.
What?
Okay, Mr. Chair.
Ay, tapos na pala. Kala ko ako na
My
naman.
point there is that DS Oaminal already admitted that the expropriation law, the controlling law, is Republic Act 10752. My question to the city administrator, in filing the complaint for expropriation and conscious of the fact that the controlling law is Republic Act 10752,
Sabi ni Regine A. Marigo, nakakatawa, halo-halo na ang salita ni Animal ang Tagalog-English. Saya, Javier Valdez, hi Nancy, sa tansya ko, madaming congressman ang ganyan. Oo naman. Sa totoo lang mga kababayan, lahat po ng mga karamihan sa opisyal, tumatakbo sila not because na gusto nila ng sweldo. Dahil obviously mayayaman na sila. Alam po ba ninyo lalos lahat ng mga congressman dyan may mga businesses? So anong gusto nila? Sweldo? Magkano lang ang sweldo nila dyan? Hindi, naandyan sila kasi alam nyo na, di ba? Sa atin ba sila? Nagsisurvey ba sila sa atin? Kita nyo nga, oh. Di ba? Ma'am Nancy, kayang-kayang mag-isa ni Congressman Marcoleta. Siya nga lang mag-isa, meron ngang chair, pero kumbaga, referee lang siya, di ba? Congressman Marcoleta, kaya iniwan ni Kung Mike at Remulla doon naman sila sa iba parang mahiwalay sila. Mga super matatalinong isa-isa. Nakakatuwa nga sila, parang kalat-kalat sila. Pero nag-iisa yung kanilang desisyon. Pero natutuwa talaga ako kay Kung Marcoleta. Kayang-kaya niya. Alam po ba ninyo ang ginagawa ni Kung Oaminal? Nililito niya si Kung Marcoleta. Pilit niyang pinapatigil, pilit niyang hinaharangan, kung anong tinitira niya. Si Kung Marcoleta, diretso pa rin. Hindi nalilito. Ang galing eh.
Did the city government of Osamis went through the office of the Solicitor General or the OGCC in filing that complaint?
Please respond,
Yes.
City Administrator.
We have not yet, Your Honor.
Not yet.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Chair, not yet. But they already expropriated the land. As a matter of fact,
Mr. Chair, may I interject because my name was
Ayan na
mentioned?
naman.
Mr. Chair,
Bumanat na naman.
On that
I
particular
am
issue.
trying to explain this.
Miss
Salamat, Amelia Pasiona. Hello, Ma'am Nancy. Stay safe. God bless you from South Wales, Australia. Hello po.
DS Oaminal keeps on interrupting this representation.
There's
For
Oaminal,
obvious
the committee is now in only the section 2, rule 2, section 4. So let's give him a little latitude, please, because we're
Kanina
not
pa niya
yet
sinasabi yan?
converted into inquiry. So let him, he has the floor, let him proceed uninterrupted.
Mr. Chair, it is my right as member of the committee and this House to rise anytime when your name has been mentioned in any inquiry by anybody for you to rise on a personal
Ayan.
Yes,
and collective privilege.
we respect that.
To
But
in this matter to interject and clarify the statement which
Tumulong ka na lang kasi, sir. Kung wala kang itinatago. Hindi yung tira ka ng tira.
I made, Mr. Chair. And I think it is within the role, Mr. Chair, and within my right to
Mr.
interject,
Chair.
Mr. Chair.
I do not understand the interruption being made by DS Oaminal.
actually, he's referring to the video to the mention to the city administrator to take as reference only. He is using that only as a reference
Yeah,
to
but
the question.
Tama ka, Jocelyn
propounded on the
Perez.
city
Correct na correct ka.
administrator, sir.
yeah, on the basis of the question, Mr. Chair, he was using my statement as an evidence. So that's why I should be made to outright to make a clarification.
You will
It
be
pertains, because it
yeah
pertains.
yeah you will be given all the time
No, no.
after he finishes.
Mga kababayan, para tuloy siyang nagmukhang batang sutil, batang makulit. Ayaw niyang papigil. Saka pasok siya ng pasok. 'Di ba? Para tuloy bata talaga na ayaw niyang ipakita doon sa kanyang mga kalaro o kung sino man na meron siyang itinatagong candy. Harang siya ng harang.
His
No, on that particular
well,
point,
he's
Mr.
not
Chair,
challenging your person. I never heard him challenge your person now on this
no,
here on the floor, here on the hearing.
he's mentioning my name, and he is
He's mentioning my
using my
name.
name
Oh, so what's
as
wrong with
an
that?
evidence of his
W-
interpellation.
Can you
to-
cite when did you see your name here? Here,
Yeah,
this particular instance?
Yeah, when he asked the question to the city administrator, when he said that
Jocelyn Pera, sabi niya, Ma'am Nancy, kung tutuusin, may sapat na pera po ang ating bansa para matugunan na ang pangangailangan ng ating mga kababayan na naghihirap. Kaso, ninanakaw ng mga opisyal. Hindi po ba yan ang sabi ni Pangulo? Kung walang magnanakaw, kayang-kaya natin, marami talaga tayong pera. Vicente Tuason, tama talagang ang Pangulo na kung walang kurakot na mga kongresista, mamamayan talagang ang Pinas ang bikti. Kana huminal kay nawawa mo ang mga taong bayan. Rodolfo, pag ang tao nagsisinungaling, nabubulol at hindi ba? Hindi ba? Halatang halata at saka isa pa, bakit masyado sobrang defensive siya? Hayaan niya. Kung talagang wala siyang tinatago, go ahead. Kasi sinong mapapahiya diyan? Hindi ba si Cong Marcoleta? Kung talagang wala siyang ginagawa. Hindi niya naiisip yun. Yung para siyang nininervyos siya on steroid, mga kababayan. Diba? Takot, parang takot na takot.
The Oaminal has already admitted that the expropriation law is
You
under...
just admitted.
Hello,
Did you not admit?
Pikon na si Cong Marcoleta.
Mr. Chair,
address the chair.
the DS Oaminal is out of order. He just saw himself. He admitted, he invoked Republic Act 10752. What is wrong in that? There's nothing wrong. He admitted. It's only a premise. That's why I'm asking the city administrator if they went through the office of the OGCC or the Solicitor General, because that is what is supposed to be the provision of law.
Please avoid mentioning the name of the DS
See?
Oaminal in your, interpolation.
Si Chair naman, bakit naman hindi mamimension yung yung pangalan? Di ba?
Because he is interrupting me, Mr. Chair. I am not. I have no business mentioning his
Yeah,
name.
please,
His name has nothing to do with this.
Yes,
There you go.
He presented my press conference, Mr. Chair. So,
As a reference material.
yeah, that's why I should be, he's referring,
Ikaw yun.
that's why I should
Di ba ikaw
be
yun?
allowed to interject.
Tinatanong kita, hindi
I think the video is self-explanatory. If we debate the video, a 2-minute video with a 10-minute
Regina,
debate,
Marigon,
we will
tama
not
ka.
go to what we are finding
Anyway,
out
Mr.
here.
Chair, I yield, but I am just,
I ordered that DS Marcoleta.
I yield daw, mamaya, sisigaw na naman yan. Sabi ni Regina Marigon, ang nakakatawa, nagbibisaya ay sabi ni Midilita Kobayashi. Good morning, Mas Nancy. John Bernardo, dapat po merong bitay sa mga korupsyon. Yun nga lang mga senador ang ayaw Di ba? Kailan pa sinasampay ang bitay na yan? Korupsyon para maubos na po ang MFA. Walang hiya sa gobyerno ang nagpapahirap sa ating bansa. Eve Salcedo Bursamen, Ma'am Nancy, natawa ako, hindi makalusot. Gumagawa ng paraan para malito si Cong Marcoleta, hindi makalusot, go lang, hiyang-hiya na ang mga magnanakaw. Talagang hindi nila kayang lituhin si Cong Marcoleta. Meron pa silang mga COA, meron pa silang DPWH, meron pa silang si Cong Oaminal. Kabay-kabila ang kausap ni Cong Marcoleta, pero mag-isa niya. Kaya nakakatuwa. Marijon, avoid mentioning his name kasi magagalit. Oo nga, di ba gagalit siya pag nami-mention yung kanyang pangalan.
Avoid mentioning the name of DS Oaminal just to propound questions on the resource persons.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank
Anyway,
you. Thank you.
the city administrator already answered that they did not yet went through the office of either the OGCC or the Solicitor
Siya, ang galing talaga.
And then in his last answer, Mr. Chair, he said that the residents voluntarily vacated their residence.
Pasensya ka na kung hindi ko mapopronounce ito ng mabuti. Fulgencio Pagarigan. Sige po, ubusin ang mga mandarambong na yan. Sana po, Cong Marcoleta, kayo ang ilagay ng Pangulo na mag-imbestiga ng lahat na mandarambong. Mapapagod siya. Ikaw naman, sobrang dami para makulong sila at mabalik ang pera ng magnanakaw. Kawawa naman si Cong Marcoleta. sangkatutak ang magnanakaw sa Pilipinas ng mga government official. Fulgencio Pagarigan, makakatulong sa bayan. Esther C, hello po Ate Nancy, kumusta ka na? Stay safe po talaga. Ay, alage. Ruel Sabanico, hay nako, puro magnanakaw yan. Lahat sila, lalo na yung magbibidahan dyan. Okay. So nakakatuwa, galing talaga ni Cong Marcoleta. Cool and collected. Paminsan-minsan napipikon. Kasi wala, ayaw siyang tigilan ni Oaminal.
May I ask the COMSEC to please...
Tama ka, Esther C.
To
Galing talaga. Kung di kaya mag-English, mag-Bisaya na lang. Or sabi ni Rodolfo de Leon, kung hindi kaya mag-English, mag-Bisaya na lang. Tama? Mag-Taglis, mag-Bisaya, or mag-Bicol, or Taglis better. Di ba? Oh.
Technical service, please play slides 2, 3, and 4.
Yan yung sinasabi ni Mr. Administrator na voluntary daw nag-vacate ang mga tao. Kaya ipinakita ito ni Cong Marcoleta. Kawawa naman.
To, yan to.
Among lola na dira.
Sige. Sige, Cong Oaminal.
So Mr. Chair, yan po yung voluntary. Kayo na po ang maghusga, Mr. Chair, kung voluntary yun.
Session resumed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, may I manifest my continuing objection for the record on the manner how the author is presenting or adjudicating evidence in support with his allegation, because as earlier stated, the persons invited, the government officials, are resource speakers. They are not witness. But the
Natandaan niyo kanina, sabi niya witness siya ng witness, tapos kinorek siya ng chair. Hindi sila witness, sila ay resource person. Ngayon sinasabi niya hindi sila resource witness. Di ba? Natandaan niyo kanina, kinorek siya ng chair. Nasabi niya hindi sila mga witness, sila mga resource persons. Ngayon siya naman ang nagsasabi. Renzo Onlong, Sara Duterte 2022. Isabel Lee, hello po ma'am, new subscriber, thank you so much po. Napoleon Banzuela, ang mga salita ni Congressman Marcoleta magandang pakinggan at may laman at madali talaga maintindihan. Diyan ko siya nagustuhan, ang parang cool and collected talaga sa maliwanag yung kanyang pananalita kahit na mag-i-English siya. Amado Lunario, bistag na lang para maintindihan ng ordinaryong mamamayan. Marco Rehano, hi Madam Nancy, go go go. Cong Marcoleta, we are proud of you. Lahat po, lagi kasi matatalim ang mga pangil ng mga buwaya. Fulgencio again, Pagarigan, pangunahan lang po ni Cong Marcoleta ma'am. Maraming siyempre siyang tauhan. Marami po. Isama na niya sila Boyeng Remulla. Amado Lunario, hello po Ma'am Nancy. Regine A. Marigon. Hala, ang demolish, sabi among lola na dira. Means nasa loob ang lola. Habang binubungkal ang bahay. At may narinig pa ako, Regine Marigon, may narinig pa ako na walang order ang court. Parang kung tama ba yung pandinig ko. Jeffrey Christian Reyes, dapat itawag natin kay Idol Marcoleta ay Rambo. Ibusin ang magnanakaw sa gobyerno ngayon na at bitayin ang mga iyan. Alam na may kinakaharap na problema ang bansa. Yan, nakukuha pa nilang magnakaw. Upakan mo. John Bernardo, dapat po sapukin niya ni mukha ni kong Mayor Inday Duterte. JJ Kojima, like po. Salamat JJ Kojima. Let's move on po. Pilina Midiha, hello po ma'am. Hello din sa iyo.
How it is being done now, as if they are witness or adverse party of the case, which we have not yet determined who are the adverse party, because it is not
Yun na
yet
naman ang
determined
tinanong niya.
who
Tinanong
are
na
the
niya
officers
kanina.
and employees who committed the alleged malfeasance, misfeasance.
I
and
already
malfeasance.
enumerated
See?
Yes, I'm just putting it on record.
Yeah,
Mr.
but you
Chair.
already told me about an hour ago to enumerate the offices or agencies that are alleged. So I did that already.
Yes, Mr. Chair. I'm not. My point is in the way how the
Okay,
witness
noted,
is.
noted.
Ibig sabihin, noted. Ibig sabihin, shut up ka na. Yun ang ibig sabihin nun. Kung voluntary, bakit nag-iiyakan? Kaya nga po ipinakita ni Cong Marcoleta kasi sabi ng administrator, voluntary daw po yun. Amado Lunario, kawawa naman ang na-demolish. Ang laki pa ng bahay, di ba? Ang hirap-hirap kaya makakuha ng ganong kalaking bahay tapos gigibain lang nila kasi mayayaman sila. Regine A. Marigon, ma'am, involved in love na ako kay Cong Marcoleta. Aagawan mo ako? Sabay na lang tayo. Okay.
Adducing evidence
Noted.
in support to his allegation.
Yes, noted. Noted by the records.
Yun, shut
Okay.
up na daw.
Mr. D.S. Marcoleta,
Thank
please
you, Mr.
proceed.
Chair. City Administrator, in the demolition of the houses of the lot owners,
Wala daw court order,
did the
yeah.
court issue rate of demolitions?
Ayan, tinatanong na.
There was no demolition, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Wala
Thank
daw
you.
demolition.
Wala rin.
Natawa tuloy si
If Your
Cong
Honor,
Marcoleta.
Yun, Mr. Chair, okay lang, sige. Who is the contractor of the first building?
As far as I know, it is Alpha and Omega Construction, Your Honor.
What about the second building?
Mr. Chair,
Ayun na naman siya.
the resource speaker is incompetent to answer that. The right office will.
Akala ko ba continuing objection ka na lang?
That's why I am again.
Do you want to proceed?
Ayan.
No, Mr. Chair. My point, Mr. Chair, is that
Please address the chair. Please address the chair. Do not
See?
directly engage each other.
Mr. Chair, I'm addressing my continuing objection to
We will
the chair,
we will
Mr. Chair.
suspend this hearing for another date if you cannot control yourselves.
I'm in a very cold manner, Mr. Chair.
Very cold daw
I'm
siya.
raising only-
I already ruled that we noted your objection. It's the same objection.
No, another point, Mr. Chair. I
Yes,
said
what is that point?
the resource speaker, where the author has asked the question, is incompetent to answer. The right office to answer that is the DPWH, because it is on record that it is the DPWH that implements the project, Mr. Chair.
Let's give him latitude. Let's propound those objections when we are in inquiry phase. Maybe in the next hearing, will be given the right to object in the line of questioning. This is just the.
Bakit po ayaw niyang ipagpatuloy? Yung harang siya ng harang. Para ba talaga may hinaharangan siya? Regine A. Marigon, oo naman, walang, ma'am, walang court order nag-demolish. Yun nga po, ang sinabi daw, binigyan sila ng writ of possession, pero hindi ibig sabihin yung title ay naging, yung writ of possession hindi naging nag-transfer sa landowner. Kailangan pa nilang mag-usap. Jocelyn Perez, Ma'am Nancy, bukong-buko na sila kaya halo-halo na halo-halo na lumundag. Kaya halo-halo na, buko na sila kay halo-halo na sinagot nila. Mario Buyayo, ang may kasalanan ay laging ayaw taaga na lamang taaga na malaman ng ang taong bayan ang katotohanan. Tama ka, Robert. So, baby. Congressman Marcoleta, stay safe, healthy, and God bless. Jeffrey Christian Reyes, galing naman, Ma'am Nancy. Nabigyan mo ng pagkakataon ang mga mamamayan ng Pilipino para ipahayag ang sa looban ng mga Pilipino. Go, Ma'am. Thank you po. Let's move on.
To let the members appreciate the evidence and the allegations. We cannot appreciate by having interruptions every 5 minutes.
There you go. Di ba? Ayan na naman mga kababayan. Sasakyan yan, di ba? Heavy equipment ni Henry S. Oaminal. Ayan na naman, iiyak na naman yan dyan. Rodolfo De Leon, bakit di sinubukang gibain din ang bahay ni Oaminal at sabihin voluntary? Marami silang mga doon. Biro mo, yung kapatid niya mayor. Yung anak niya mayor, yung kapatid niya barangay captain, pati yung mga COA, pati yung yung administrator, sa kanya yun, siyempre, di ba? Davao Eagle, good morning Ate Nancy, walang magandang magawa ang mga dilawan, panay paninira, kaya sinisiraan na nila si Inday Sara. Ay, hindi tatalab yan. Kasi alam na natin na kapag ganyan ang ginagawa nila, pangit ang intensyon nila. Let's move on here. Yan, pinapakita lang ang picture.
Teka, sandali lang. I want you to see, Mr. Chair, can I stand up? I will just show this.
You can point on the screen, DS Marcoleta.
Merong logo, HSO. This is Henry S. Oaminal. Okay?
Remember mga kababayan, ang HSO, hindi lang si Cong Marcoleta ang nag-point niyan. Si President Duterte. Kaya nga po si Congressman Oaminal ay kasama siya sa mga korap na pinangalanan ni Pangulong Duterte. Siya mismo ang nagsabi, HSO Corporation ang pag-aari ni Kong Oaminal. Roger Mabait, hi. Yang demonyong animal na Oaminal, na kriminal na yan ay dapat na makulong. Sana malapit na kasi paikot-ikot siya dito eh. Mukhang kakampi lahat mga kababayan. Natural, di ba? Bayan mo yun eh.
Lahat po doon, you can see.
Mr. Chair.
Ayun na. Ayun na naman.
Again, I raise a point of personal and collective privilege because the name of this representation has again mentioned as
Yes,
part
sir.
of the
Please
presentation of
proceed.
evidence.
Ayun na naman, nabanggit na naman ang pangalan.
Yes, Mr. Chair. I object to the the presentation of.
May I know the objection, Mr. Chair?
What is your
What is your objection?
What is your objection?
I was about to state my objection, Mr. Chair, and I
That's
wasn't
why.
able.
DS Marcoleta,
I was
let the
interrupted.
chair rule on the objection. What's your objection?
My objection, Mr. Chair, is the presentation of DS Marcoleta on mentioning my name. That
Yun na naman na-mention na naman kasi ang pangalan eh. Kayo naman kasi.
Initial that.
Ang sabi ni Gensio, na hindi ko masami ang pangalan, pag-aregan, mula pagkabata at hanggang ngayon lang ako nakaranas ng tunay na nagmamalasakit. Napakabuti ni Cong Marcoleta. Yun nga po eh. Roger Mabait, good to see you po. Manay Nancy, thank you, Roger.
He is citing in his video presentation.
So, Mr. Chair, may I know if the...
No. Let's ask the resource person to explain what
Yes.
does HSO mean. You ask the.
Parang hindi nila alam.
What does the...
Mr. Chair, the
No.
contractor-
That is my ruling that he asked the contractor. What does HSO mean?
No, Mr.
No,
Chair,
no.
it is my name that has been mentioned. So it is not the contractor who could answer about this representation.
No.
About my
I'm
name.
saying that he inferred. He is inferring that the HSO stands for your name. Now we will get somebody to certify or clarify what does HSO stand for and why is it in all the vehicles on the site?
Yeah.
Ayan.
Chair, even the vehicle presentation, it is just a presentation of a vehicle. It does not indicate that that vehicle is on the side that he is referring to. That is very clear in the picture, Mr. Chair. And then immediately
Ayan, nabanatan ako ni Danilo Emre. Sabi niya, pwede po ba ituloy niyo usapan nila? Kayo rin po singit ng singit eh. Nakakagulo ka eh. Ay, sorry naman po. Okay, there you go.
upload and immediately identify that that initial pertains to my name. That's why I'm raising an objection that it should be straightened out of the record, Mr. Chair.
Finish. Mr. Chair, may I have the floor?
I rule first before I give the floor to you. My ruling is it cannot be stricken out because it is just, we have not even been on the inquiry phase. We are just determining and appreciating the allegations and the evidence and the facts. So I am instructing DS Marcoleta to avoid mentioning the name, as I told you 10 minutes ago, of DS Henry Oaminal. Please propound all questions to the resource persons to ferret out the truth, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Kasi ang nangyayari dito, nagtatakipan.
Oo.
Yung contractor, sabi niya, nagrenta na lang siya. You remember, I asked him how many equipment did he transport from Luzon to Mindanao. Ang sabi niya, nagrenta. Pagkatas tinanong ko kung kanino nagrenta, may sinabi siyang contractor.
Okay lang yun, Danilo Emre. Yes, I like that. Kasi, like I said, we learn from each other. Sorry daw. Hindi siya kalaban. Now, I know that. Kilala naman kita. Nakikita ka dyan. At Marcos Andaya, sana sunugin na yan liminal ay animal booking na ang lumilihis pa. Ayaw niya. Roger Mabait, ayaw niya yun, yung mabanggit ang pangalan niya para sikat siya. Sikat na nga siya, Roger, pagdating ngayon.
Pero yung lumilitaw, Mr. Chair, ito logo ng company ng DS. Ayokong banggitin ang pangalan na palaging nag-i-interrupt. Okay?
Mr. Chair.
O hindi ko binabanggit ang pangalan mo.
But I raise the point that proper presentation, Mr. Chair, the vehicle presented does not indicate that it is in the site, Mr. Chair. That's why it's very incompetent also for the private person that is
Just
being
proceed.
asked.
Let's proceed to another matter. Let us not highlight
We should lead down
the
the business.
equipment. Let us not highlight the equipment anymore. Let us just forward to the next topic, sir. Okay.
On the condition, Mr. Chair, na those, what do you call this?
Slides.
No, the SSO.
Initials.
These initials, if the DS, who keeps on interrupting me, will disown that those initials are his. Will he disown those initials?
I think
Mr. Chair.
I think the proper person to answer those are people who are construction industry in Osamis. We need to ask people from Osamis
I will ask the contractor, Mr. Chair.
It's your call, sir. It's
Mr.
not my call.
Mr.
Mr. Chair,
Contractor.
I'm continuing raising my objection because
Yes, sige mag-object
hello.
ka, gusto mo.
the author, Mr. Chair,
La.
is maliciously maligning already my name. The insinuation of presenting that equipment, which has no
we'll
basis
ask
whether or
only
not
if
it is.
the equipment is
No.
a normal site in Osamis or is a normal player in providing equipment. And what does initial mean?
No, Mr. Chair. He
Hindi
presented a picture of a vehicle.
Mhm.
And the vehicle, I mean, there are lots of vehicles.
We already okay, we will not show the pictures anymore. We will just let him propound these questions, okay?
And it should not be on that vehicle, Mr. Chair.
Ah?
Because why do you ask a certain person on that particular vehicle when it is not established whether that vehicle is the one that is being rented by the contractor, Mr. Chair?
Let the resource person answer that if he rented vehicles with initials HSO.
Oh, that should be the
That's a
preliminary
good question, right? Let him answer that. Please,
Okay,
please
Mr. Chair.
proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm beginning to feel that those interruptions are really necessary if somebody would want that the truth
Oh.
should not be shown.
Mr. Chair, that's a very bad imputation to this representation.
I am
Mr. Chair.
Let's strike,
I am
let's strike
therefore-
off the record the last sentence.
Yeah.
Okay, please proceed, Mr. Deputy Speaker Marcoleta.
May I ask, Mr. Chair, that this representation to be able to continue
Yes, sir.
should not be interrupted?
Yes, I already propounded this to the Honorable. Next time,
Oh.
DS Oaminal, if this is not in a subject of your personal integrity, please do not interrupt. We want to have, if he doesn't mention your name anymore, please do not interrupt.
Okay.
D. Carol Abinales, please be able to answer now, please.
Basa muna tayo kasi mahaba eh. Fred Badbaden, ito ang mga pangyayari na hinihintay ng mga NPA para makarekrut ng mga tao. Kaya ang ginagawa ng Cong Oaminal na to, pinapahirapan niya ang mga taong bayan. Ayun, nag-iiyakan sila, di ba? Malalay, grabe ang kabulastugan ng kongresista na yan. Nakakahiya. Mga taong panam niya siya mismo ang umaabuso. Roger, mabait, panahon na para sa isa-isahin na ni Cong Marcoleta ang mga demonyong mga korap na yan. May nagsabi din kanina, kaya lang sobrang dami nila, Roger, baka mapagod si Cong Marcoleta. But dito mapapansin ninyo, I think this is, from DPWH, maririnig ninyo na talagang napakaano yung pagkatrabaho nila. Pakinggan ninyo. Marcos Sandaya, Congressman Marcoleta, ikaw ang maglilinis dyan sa Kongreso, tapos sa Senado naman, mabuhay ka. God bless.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ayan.
Did you authorize the DPWH in Tangub City to implement? Or I think the question is, how did you authorize and why did you authorize the implementation and eventual supervision of the construction of this project in Laman on a private property? Why did you allow that?
Hala.
Sir, Your Honor, actually, sir, we are authorized based on GAA as yung napunta na sa amin yung project, sir.
Sandali. Hindi mo-
Nandiyan na sa GAA, sir, 2019 GAA.
Can you please answer the question? It is very simple. Palitan natin para mas maintindihan mo. Can the DPWH allow the construction of a project on private property not owned, in this particular case, by the city government of Osamis?
No, sir. But
No,
we have
sir.
an
There you go.
understanding
Thank
with LGU that they will
You cannot.
acquire the land.
The answer is no.
Sir.
Ayun.
We have an understanding with the
Ngayon pala,
LGU
no ang
sa
sagot
City.
mo.
Sila ang mag-acquire sa site.
If your answer is no, why did you allow the construction which is now ongoing in Barangay Laman, Osamis City?
Because, sir, they are on the process of acquiring the land, the site.
If they are in the process of acquiring the land, is it correct for you to have already constructed even before getting the land in the name of the local government? That is the way you execute projects in the DPWH? Kahit
Kita niyo mga kababayan, tingnan mo, di ba ganito nga sa atin? Just because sinabi nila na okay na kahit hindi mo naman titingnan. Sige ka na lang, magpatayo ka na lang ng building dyan kahit hindi mo pa alam. Just because somebody told you, di ba? Hindi ba dapat sila nag-check? Vicente Tuason, kung ang kalahati ng congressman na mga nakaupo ay katulad ni Oaminal, talagang mamumulubi ang bansa. Bakit kaya tahimik si Lagman na nakakulay ni Oaminal? Takot kaya na balikan siya ni Marcoleta? John Panjang, kaya ma'am, ang dapat dyan sa animal ay Oaminal pala ay makulong. Sana nga yun nga.
Wala pa yung titulo. Kahit wala pa sa pangalan ng local government, itatayo mo na?
Yun.
Ganun ba yun? Is that the rule?
Sabi nyo, they will provide the land. Basta sabi ng LGU, sir, they will provide the land.
Ayun.
So, nakita din namin doon na
Naniwala ka naman na sinabi lang they will provide the land. Kanina pa natin sinasabi na private property ang pinagtayuan mo. Ang sagutin mo ito, dapat ba o tama ba yung ginawa ninyo na ikaw ang nag-implement, sinupervise mo pa? Samantalang wala pa sa pangalan ng city government ang property. Kaya expropriate pa nga lang eh. Why did you do that?
We believe, sir, that they have...
We believe daw.
Ikaw ang tinatanong ko, pabayaan mo kung ano yung gusto nila. Ikaw, DPWH official.
Oo nga, sir, pero we are closely coordinating with the LGU, sir.
Ano?
We are closely coordinating with the LGU regarding the acquisition of the site.
Alam ko nakikipag-coordinate ka, nakikipag-kutsaba ka nga eh.
Oh.
Hindi lang coordination eh. Tinatanong sa'yo, okay, from representative from Office of the Court Administrator, tama ba yung ginagawa nila na kahit nasa private property pa, in-expropriate pa lang ang mga tao ay kino-question sa korte? Actually, tinayo na yung project. Tama po ba yung proseso na yon, Mr. Representative from OCA?
Your Honor, Mr. Chair, in response to that question, first, I hope you understand that I cannot give an opinion regarding a matter that is something that we are not very much involved in, especially with respect to after the issuance of the writ of possession, Your Honor.
Ikaw naman, hindi ka pa naman justice eh. Pag justice ka na, pwede. The reason why you were asked
May I
to
just...
appear, yung opinion mo lang, hindi ka pa naman justice eh.
Yeah, Your Honor,
Yes.
okay po. If I will be asked to answer that as a former RTC judge, Your Honor, I think the possession being extended already is up to the implementing agency to now use in order to carry out or implement its project, Your Honor. Like I said earlier, when a writ of possession is issued, title is not immediately transferred to the implementing agency, but with respect to continuing the project, if they have possession of the property, then that's up to them, Your Honor, to implement.
Kaya nga, ang sabi mo kanina, it is not synonymous.
Tama ka, Rodolfo de Leon. Tagalog para marami nakakaintindi. Pinag-uusapan. Tama ka. Dapat yun sana ang laging ginagamit. Roger, mabait. Maari bang basta payagan nila kung walang lagay? Oo nga, di man lang tiningnan basta sabi daw, they will provide the land. So pinatayuan na kahit hindi pa nila nakikita.
Ownership. Hindi pa title yun. Kasi
No
may process
title.
pa, di ba?
Yes, Your
Okay.
Honor.
On that basis, sir, in the event that the residents who went to court will win their case because the expropriation was irregular, they did not go to the office of the Solicitor General nor the office of the Government Council. Suppose the residents win their case, who will be the owners of the building?
Owner of the land.
Regarding the expropriation case, Your Honor.
Yes.
Well, Your Honor, like I said,
The
expropriation.
principal is the lot, is the land.
Yes, Your
The
Honor.
improvement of the buildings will be accessory. Under our civil code, accessories follow the principal. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so in the event na nanalo yung mga residents who went to the Supreme Court to appeal this, ang magme-may-ari ng mga building are the private owners, is that not?
Well, I think the status quo will be maintained, Your Honor, if that
Yes,
is the
the
case.
status quo is that the owners are the private owners, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank
But-
you. COA.
Yan na.
COA are in
Where is
Zoom.
the COA? Hindi. COA representative.
Zoom po, nasa Zoom.
Nasa Zoom po ba?
Yes, sir.
Is it not a fact, Mr. COA or Miss COA representative?
Roland Ray.
Or Ronald?
Roland Ray, please proceed to answer.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Yes.
I will answer the question, Your Honor.
Ito na po. Madaming sagot nito. Hindi ito sasagot ng maiksi, mga kababayan.
Hindi po ba nag-start kayong mag-audit pagka kung minsan mobilization payment ay binigay na o kaya sa first billing? Tama po ba?
Our audit in the Commission on Audit, Your Honor, is on post-audit basis. So that the payment for mobilization will reach us on post-audit, then that will be the proper time that we will audit the payment.
So hindi kayo nag-audit pagka nagkaroon ng mobilization o kaya first payment?
We will audit, Your Honor, once the voucher will be received by us.
Kaya nga, halimbawa, yung mobilization fee o kaya first billing, babayaran nyo na yung contractor, hindi ba? So, i-audit mo yun, tama?
That is subject to our audit, Your Honor, right? But we have to wait for the vouchers to be submitted to us because there's nothing to be audited if we don't have copy of the voucher, Your
In
Honor.
this particular case, meron ng mobilization fee kasi ongoing na yung project, hindi ba?
But the vouchers, Your Honor, the corresponding voucher is still with management, and we have to wait for management to submit it to us for our post-audit.
Are you telling me, Mr. Auditor, that the first billing or the mobilization payment nandun pa sa pinoprocess pa lang?
There's a reglementary period, Your Honor, wherein they have to submit the voucher for our post-audit.
Hindi ko naintindihan yung sagot mo. Ang tinatanong ko sa'yo, ay yung mobilization fee, ibig mong sabihin, hindi nyo pa na-audit, nag-start na yung project?
Ayun.
Your Honor, if the voucher is already with us, then we're going to audit that. But by this time, Your Honor, I presume that there's already audit done on that payment of.
Narinig niyo yun? I presume that there's somebody already audited that. Kasi lagi niya sinasabi, post-audit, post-audit. So, hindi po nila ino-audit. He assume at hinihintay niya ang voucher bago siya mag-audit. Kaya nga tinatanong ni Cong Marcoleta, ano? Di ba? Di paano pala yun nalaman ninyong itinayo sa private? Sabi niya mag-i-issue daw sila ng OA something. Jocelyn Perez, Ma'am Nancy, ang mga opisyal na dapat mag-imbestiga kung ang isang bagay ay private o public, property ay mga corrupt din. Tumatanggap ng mga bayad yan, ngayon nabuko sila, kanya-kanya ng palusot. Ferdinand Belsa, nice job, Cong Marcoleta. Marilyn Ibanez, ay sos, Mariosep, nauutal kung anong sabihin dahil nag-iisip pa kung anong sasabihin kung paano lumusot sa kasinungalingan.
So, presume mo, you presume na na-audit na. Tama lang sapagkat
Because there's already partial payment, Your Honor. Progress payment already.
kaya nga, ang tinatanong ko lang naman, kapag may partial payment na mobilization, di ba ino-audit nyo naman yung payment?
We will audit that. We will audit that, Your Honor. Yes, that's right. But then the voucher should be submitted to us. We
Kaya
cannot
nga,
audit until we can see the voucher, until the voucher is submitted to us. And the answer is yes, we're going to audit
pakinggan mo
those
lang yung
payments.
tanong, pakinggan mo lang yung tanong. Kung ano
Ayan.
yung tinatanong sa'yo, yun ang sagutin mo.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sa kasong ito, may mobilization payment na dahil nakapag-umpisa na silang magtrabaho. Yung project ongoing na eh. At
Yes, Your Honor.
yung mo, meron na, di ba, na mobilization. So nag-umpisa na silang mag-audit. Tama?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Hindi ba, bago ba ninyo bayaran yung, let's say, bago nyo i-audit ang mobilization, hindi ba nyo tiningnan kung ano yung status ng lupa?
With due respect, Your Honor, it is not COA that will pay, but its management, it's DPWH, the implementing agency, that will make the payment, Your Honor.
You mean the COA is not also in a position to check whether the project is regular? For example, yung pagtatayuan ay hindi pa naman sa pangalan ng city government? Pwede na sa inyo yon?
Your Honor, under existing regulations, we have the opportunity to check on the legality of the transaction.
Post-audit.
On post-audit, and there's a regulation that...
Sa makatwid, ang ibig mo sabihin, wala kang pakialam kung saan niya itinayo, kung sa gitna ng dagat niya tinayo, wala kang pakialam. Kung sa bundok niya tinayo, hindi mo pakikialaman. Basta ang importante, matapos yan, post-audit. Ganun ba ibig mo sabihin?
No, Your Honor. We're going to scrutinize the supporting documents, Your Honor.
Masyadong defensive, Mr. COA.
Ayun.
Tinatanong ka lang naman, alam mo ba na itinayo yan sa private property? O, ang sasabihin mo na naman, kasi post-audit kami. Sa mga katwid, hindi nyo na pakialam o hindi nyo na pinakikialaman kung saan itatayo ang project. Tama?
Malalaman namin yan, Your Honor, based on the voucher, based on the supporting documents, Your Honor.
Yun na nga eh. So malalaman mo na lang pag tapos na yung project at nalaman mo ngayon na private property palang pinagtayuan. Anong gagawin mo?
Not necessarily, Your Honor, na pagkatapos na ng project, but if the contract is submitted to us for our review, then that will give us an idea that there's something wrong in the project.
Ibig mo sabihin,
tawa ni Regine Marigon. Rodolfo De Leon against all odds. Si Cong Marcoleta pero parang member ng Avenger. Helen Lavador, dapat imbestigahan ito ang mga congressman na sa Mindanao. Lalo na sa mga probinsya sa Occidental, Oriental, Bukidnon area sa Zamboanga probinsya. Roger, mabait ang mga guilty, hindi na makasagot ng diretsyo sa tanong. Laging paiwas ang sagot. Ay, tingnan mo naman itong mama na to, ikot ng ikot.
hindi pa kayo binigyan ng kopya ng kontrata kung yung project ay nakatayo sa private land o hindi?
We have already copy of the contract, Your Honor. And our auditors, they're going to review on the legal and auditorial aspects of the contract. And this review of the contract on the legal and auditorial aspect was submitted to us in the regional office. And our usual procedure is to refer it to, because there's a request, once there is a finding of regularity, that the contract is above board, then we're going to...
DS Marcoleta, you have overtime already. Maybe you can wind up the questions, and the next round you will be given the same opportunity.
Yes, Your Honor, may I continue?
Tama ka, Roger.
Once there is already the contract, Your Honor, because it is required under existing regulations of the COA that the contract should be submitted to us for our review. Within 5 days from perfection of the contract, meaning from the signing of the contract, there's already meeting of the minds, then we are going to review that. But then for this transaction, Your Honor, we beg that considering that our auditors are not knowledgeable in the law, they are not lawyers, they are not even law students or law graduates, that for any defect in the contract, legally speaking, on legal aspect, we could not assure that whatever findings they have are indeed right. That we will know that there are defects in the contract once they are submitted to us. But then because of that provision in the law also that everything done by a public official is considered legal.
Can I cut you now? Kasi ang tanong ko napakasimple lang eh. Ang sabi mo, dahil post-audit kayo, kaya hindi mo pa alam kung may irregularity o hindi.
The chair has already advised the good deputy speaker to wind up.
Pasok agad itong si Oaminal.
So he should now wind up because he has exceeded his time, Mr. Chair. So he should now wind up as per your order, Mr. Chair.
reiterate my order to the last question.
Galit na si
Pwede ba, Mr. Chair? Akala ko ba usapan wala nang ganong klaseng mga comments na...
No, this order is from the chair, not from DS Oaminal. This is because we have 5 people on the line.
Tama ka, Danili, M. Reyes. Paulit-ulit nga paikot-ikot, tsaka pinahahaba-haba pa niya.
It will revert back to you on the second round.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I'm only trying to
Okay.
stop
Last question. Last question. Please answer concise and to the point. Director
Vocal, Your Honor.
Vocal.
No, COA?
Yes,
Mr.
Your
COA
Honor.
representative, pakinggan mo lang at sagutin mo lang para mag-wind up na ako rito. I will probably resort to a second round here. Ang sabi mo kanina, dahil sa kayo ay post-audit, so hindi mo alam kung private property o hindi. Pero malalaman mo rin yan kapag na-scrutinize ninyo yung mga documents. Hindi ba ganun ang sinabi mo?
Yes, Your Honor, but then not only on post-audit.
Yun. Ang dami mo kasing sinasabi, tinatanong ko lang ang sagutin mo eh. Kung sakaling malaman mo, sapagkat dumating na yung mga contract sa'yo at pinag-aralan na ninyo, kasi puro ginagawa nyo, naglalagay lang kayo ng billboard sa, hindi nyo naman pala alam eh. Pagkatapos na malaman mo na pinagtayuan pala nila ay private property sapagkat they are in the process of probably titling it in the name of the city government, anong gagawin ng COA kapag nalaman niya na private property pala ang pinagtayuan?
Following the rules, Your Honor, we will issue EOM on that, Audit Observation Memorandum, requesting management to explain. And then if their explanations are not satisfactory to us, we're going to issue notice of suspension, giving them another opportunity to further explain the deficiency. And still, if their explanation is not for us valid, then we're going to issue notice of disallowance. And if there's a complaint on that, we have January 30, 2020 memorandum and COA Circular 2020.
Mr. COA, ang tanong ko lang sa'yo, pag nalaman mo na private property palang pinagtayuan, anong gagawin ninyo?
Yan na nga, Your Honor, that we are going to issue Audit Observation Memorandum informing management of the defects in the transaction.
So, saka pa lang sila mag-i-issue ng audit of memorandum or whatever he just said. Tapos na. Di ba? Ganyan tayo sa Pilipinas. Bakit hindi kasi sundin? Pagtatayo kasi sila, imbis na umasa sila na I assume somebody have already audited it. Di ba? Hindi pala naman. Oh, ayan. Kaya nga tinatanong, anong gagawin mo pag nalaman mo doon na itinayo? Saka pa lang sila mag-i-issue ng memorandum of kung ano man sinabi niya. Ferdinand Belza, maraming salamat Cong Marcoleta. Marami akong natutuhan sa iyo. Roger Mabait, akala ata nila isang batang si Cong Marcoleta na kayang paikot-ikutin. Yun yata ang tinatry nila eh. Parang nililito nga nila eh. Pero diretso pa rin si Cong Marcoleta. Ayan, galing kay Danili M. Reyes. Ayan, huli. Oaminal, magnanakaw na congressman. Congressman Rodolfo. Kawa ba yung kausap ni Cong Marcoleta? O connivance ni Animal? Roger Mabait, salamat po Ma'am Nancy. Kahit na nakaka-stress, kahit pa paano nakakatawa at the same time. Yun na nga eh.
And afterwards,
anong gagawin mo sa project? Nakatayo na, tinatayo na.
we're going to hear from them, Your Honor, the reasons why those
Anong gagawin mo sa project na nakatayo na? Alam mo, Mr. Chair, the reason why we're hearing this, because this is also in aid of legislation. Yan palaging sinasabi ng COA kasi,
Post-audit.
Post-audit, ang daming problema.
Ayun.
Ano ngayon kung mag-issue ka ng, let's say, observation memo? Ano ngayon kung mag-issue ka ng notice of disallowance? Nandiyan na yung project. In the final analysis, How will you dispose the property? Sino magiging may-ari ng property? Sino magtitira doon? Private property nga ito eh. Ngayon mo lang makikita ngayon sapagkat post-audit ka. This is the problem. I will resort to my second round, Mr. Chair.
Thank you,
Honor,
thank you. Thank you, Mr. Director Vocal. Next.
Ayun, mga kababayan. Stress na stress tayo pero nakakatawa at the same time. Tama si Roger, mabait. Pero ang pagal-pag ko, stress na stress si Cong Marcoleta. Jeffrey Christian Reyes, parang hindi taga-kuwa, parang taga-squatter lang, bubo ang hahayop. Hindi po, I think sa palagay ko, umiiwas sila na masakta nila o matamaan nila si Cong Oaminal. Parang, kahit nga yung galing sa the Office of the Solicitor General, di ba? Yung isang judge doon na former judge, ganun din siya magsalita, maingat din sila magsalita. Ayaw nilang may matamaan. Dapat hindi ganyan. Dapat parang siya, kung Marcoleta talagang magsalita. Kung may tamaan, bahala kayong tamaan, di ba? Ferdinand Bilsa, maraming salamat Kong. Okay. So, Roger mabait, malaki na sigurado ang kinita ng taga-kuwa na yan. Yeah, siguro nga kasi lalo na yung administrator nila si attorney din. Ingat na ingat pa rin magsabi. Sabi nga ni nung nagsasalita kanina yung administrator na sino ba 'yon? Si Attorney Sam Fuentes. Tinanong sa kanya ano daw ang relasyon ng barangay chairman ba yun o barangay captain? Sabi niya, I think youngest brother. Pagkatapos ng tinanong kung ano daw, alam niya, youngest brother, pero tinatanong siya ng pangalan, kunyari, I think ganon eh. JJ Kudema, Ma'am Nancy, nag-hearing na po ba sa franchise ng ABS-CBN? Hindi ko pa nakita eh. Yun nga hinahanap ko kanina, ang nakita ko si Cong Marcoleta. Hindi ko inaasahan yon. Salamat naman, Madam Nancy, pang-spaghetti. Haha, salamat. Poji Q, salamat po. Yun nga po. Pinoy Mystery Channel. Anong mystery sa channel mo, Pinoy Mystery Channel? Thumbs up, thank you. Regine Marigon, JJ Kujema, hello. Lagi ko kayo nagbabatian pala kayo dyan. Nakikialam na ako. Sige mga kababayan, I will see you again on my next video. And again, Fuji Q, maraming salamat sa sa tulong mo. Rodolfo De Leon, mukhang bubul rin ang kuwa. I think nag-iingat siya kasi sayang naman, 'di ba? Ay kung matira siya, may trabaho siya sa ngayon, 'di ba? So yun po mga kababayan, maraming salamat. Meron pa kayong 300. We can still put thumbs up. Esther C. Ate Nance, pag tumakbo si Cong Marcoleta sa Senado, landslide yan. Pagsama-sama pa sina Fernandez, Barsaga, Remulla, Defensor Alvarado at Alvarez, malalaglag na ang mga dilawan sa Senado. Baka atakihin sila. Sana tumakbo sila. Sana nga po, kailangan natin ng medyo hindi lagi na lang humahalik sa tungtungan ng ABS-CBN na senador. Sa tungtungan ba? Humahalik sa paa ng ABS-CBN. Tansarm, dapat si Bakin na yan, mga mukhang pera. Okay, basahin na lang natin to. Poji Q, thumbs-up dan. Thank you, Poji Q. Jocelyn Perez, maraming salamat po sa live po at home po kami sa inyo. Po at home po kami sa inyo. Salamat din. Salamat sa pagtune ninyo. Regine Marigon, kapindot ka, banat ka, Nancy. Nabubulol na ako. Regine Marigon, kapindot ka, banat ka na Nancy. ko dyan okay. Gertrude Enriquez, simple lang naman tanong isang tanong, isang sagot. Kung wala kang itinatago, kung may itinatago ka, iikot-ikot ka muna. Sayang naman. JJ Kujema, salamat din sa iyo. Maraming salamat sa inyong dalawa ni Poji Q. Maraming salamat sa tulong ninyo and I will see you po on my next live. Nag-enjoy ako, nakipagtawanan sa inyo doon sa, sa mga tira ni Oaminal. Okay mga kababayan, maraming salamat po. I will see you on my next live, okay? Bye-bye po mga kababayan, ingat kayo. At I'll see you again next time.